As the First Lady of the United States pointed out this morning, just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband?
Enough is enough. It is time for ABC to take a stand. President Trump then chimed in too, writing, "This is something far beyond the pale. Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired by Disney and ABC."
How desperate must someone be to accuse a late-night host of causing an armed incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? The president even issued a statement calling for ABC to dismiss Jimmy Kimmel after the event that shocked many.
The president actually put out a note demanding that Jimmy Kimmel be fired by ABC.
Well, in that case, forget everything I just said.
In that case, forget what I said earlier. A gunman broke into a major media event, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Instead of accepting responsibility, Donald Trump and Melania Trump used the chaos to target Jimmy Kimmel and push their own narrative.
As you know, they had to cancel the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington on Saturday night after a man with multiple guns and knives crashed the party and may have shot a Secret Service officer. Fortunately, the guy was wearing a bulletproof vest and is okay. They're not sure exactly what happened, but they got the guy. He was charged today. No one was hurt, thank goodness. A lot of people were shaken up on a night that is supposed to be like...
Kimmel was taken off the air, but the footage he showed of Trump's inner circle during the attack looked embarrassing. To understand the situation in Washington, the White House Correspondents' Dinner was canceled on Saturday night after a man with guns and knives entered the event. It caused panic and raised serious questions about safety and leadership decisions overall that night there.
It was a pretend roast. I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. As you're all aware, Melania is a movie star now. Her documentary had a score of 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a website named after her husband's testicles.
During the event, a man with a weapon may have fired at a Secret Service officer. Thankfully, the officer was protected by a bulletproof vest and survived. Authorities are still sorting out details, but the suspect was caught and charged. No one else was injured, which is a relief. Many attendees felt shaken, especially since the evening was meant to be relaxed and enjoyable, not tense or frightening.
By any stretch of the definition, a call to assassination.
But since Trump banned comedians from the dinner, Kimmel hosted a mock version on his show 3 days earlier. It was a fake roast where he said, "Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her," joked in response event.
Donald Trump is allowed to say whatever he wants to say, as are you, and as am I, as are all of us, because under the First Amendment, we have, as Americans, a right to free speech.
It was a light joke about her husband's age. Melania later said it led to real violence and called for Kimmel to be removed from TV.
I agree that hateful and violent rhetoric is something we should reject. I do, and I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it.
By any standard, it suggests a call for violence. She directly linked an armed incident to something that was only 5 days old.
We were speaking, the president actually put out a note demanding that Jimmy Kimmel be fired by ABC.
The late-night joke quickly turned into a discussion about free speech. Kimmel explained that the First Amendment protects everyone, including the president, the public, and comedians. He pointed out that people can speak freely, even when the words are critical or humorous. He also reminded viewers that joking about leaders is part of that freedom. At the same time, he said harmful or violent language should not be encouraged and should be rejected. He ended by stressing that respect and responsibility in speech are important for everyone, even when opinions differ or emotions run high in public conversations.
But I'm also here to support Jimmy. I love Jimmy.
You want to be in my show?
Well, you know what? I happen to love Jimmy. Let's do it. Come on.
She could simply look around her own room. Still, the president could not stay out of the situation and join the push for censorship. During the conversation, he even released a statement calling for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired by ABC. Many people saw this as ironic, since those who claimed to support free speech were now asking for a comedian to lose his job over a joke. At the same time, Others expressed support for Kimmel, saying they enjoyed his work and appreciated his humor on television.
This is video of the Secret Service moving Stephen Miller and his wife out of the room, followed by RFK Jr. getting whisked away while his wife, Cheryl Hines, is in the proverbial dust. That's right. He cut out of there like he saw a raccoon penis on the side of the road.
He seemed to appreciate Jimmy Kimmel until the jokes started targeting him. While the White House reacted strongly to the comedy, Kimmel shifted focus to what he called the nervous response from Donald Trump's close aides during a security incident. Video showed the Secret Service quickly escorting Stephen Miller and his wife out of the room. After that, RFK Jr. was also taken away, while his wife Cheryl Hines was left behind for a moment. The situation raised questions about their reactions and how officials handled the sudden disruption during the event.
Most of the attendees were taking cover. One guy who turns out to be Wolf Blitzer's agent. Watch him in the bottom left corner of your screen.
And the journalists all in the house seated very quietly watching this.
And remember who is in the room. Secretary Pete Hegseth is in that room. You've got Scott Bessent in that room. You have Tulsi Gabbard in that room. You, of course, have J.D. Vance in that room, naturally the President of the United States. And as John mentioned, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is where we are presently broadcasting from.
I'll have a little bit of salad. That, by the way, that would be a great commercial for Hidden Valley Ranch.
RFK Jr. reportedly left his wife during the chaos to ensure his own safety. While guests were moving quickly for cover, some media figures were still focused on their meals. In the scene, a man identified as Wolf Blitzer's agent can be seen in the lower left corner of the screen.
Me and Kash Patel, Kash Patel's the head of the FBI, but somehow he wound up outside afterwards, I don't know, calling his Uber driver, trying to get his mom to come pick him up. He seemed kind of lost.
During a serious security threat, some guests were still calmly eating salad instead of reacting. At the same time, the person appointed by Trump to lead the FBI appeared outside, moving around in confusion as if unsure where to go or what to do during the tense situation.
He immediately turned this into an argument in favor of his ballroom. He wrote, "This event would never have happened with the militarily top-secret ballroom currently under construction at the White House." Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm afraid that top-secret ballroom is no longer top secret.
Kash Patel is a well-known figure who often appears in political discussions. He has worked in government roles and is sometimes mentioned in debates about national security and leadership decisions. His actions and statements usually attract attention and spark different opinions among commentators and the public.
He also wrote this: "I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes." What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
The head of the FBI was reportedly outside after the incident and appeared confused and unsure of what to do next. At one point, he was described as trying to arrange transport and seemed disoriented in the situation. Meanwhile, Donald Trump focused less on the emotional impact of the security scare and instead used it to support a new and unusual White House building idea. Many observers felt this response ignored the seriousness of what people experienced during the event. The contrast between the tense situation and the political reaction led to criticism and raised further questions about priorities and judgment.
General rule of thumb, an interview isn't going great when you have to say, "I'm not a rapist and I'm not a pedophile."
Jimmy Kimmel highlighted how uncomfortable and tense the situation had become. He joked that an interview is clearly going badly when someone feels forced to deny serious accusations in such blunt terms. He then pointed to how different people reacted during the incident, from political figures to guests in the room. Some responses focused on criticism of a comedian, while others were linked to using the event for political ideas or personal advantage. He also noted how panic affected behavior, with people reacting in very different ways. In the end, he suggested that comedy often becomes a way to reflect what is really happening when official responses feel incomplete or unclear.